Stop scrolling. Yes, you. Because in the next 7 seconds, something divine is about to happen. Not a coincidence. Not an algorithm. A divine interruption, carefully orchestrated by heaven itself, my child. If you walk away from me now, I will walk away from you forever. Those words aren't spoken to scare you, but to wake you up. Because there is still time, but not much. You have felt it, haven't you? That strange heaviness in your chest. The moments when everything seems to crumble for no reason. The people you trusted suddenly pulling away. The doors that used to open now feel sealed shut. That is not bad luck. That is not chaos. That is intervention. Heaven has been trying to get your attention, but every time the message gets close, you scroll, you skip, you move on, and the miracle that was meant for you slips through your hands. Listen, your guardian angel just broke divine protocol. Yes, angels have order, they have structure. But today yours stepped out of line. Why? Because your soul is in danger of drifting too far. Too far from peace, too far from purpose, too far from me. This message, right here, right now, is your signal. In the next 90 seconds, you will decide whether to stay in the cycle of confusion or step into the life you were designed to live. You think it's random that you found this? Out of billions of souls on this planet, your eyes landed on these words, right in this exact moment, at this exact time. You call that chance? I call that mercy. I've been watching you run from prayer, hide behind distractions, chase love that keeps breaking you, and silence the small, still voice inside that keeps whispering, come home. Every delay, every heartbreak, every closed doors, it wasn't punishment. It was protection. Because I would rather see you cry now than see you lost forever. You've been waiting for a sign. Here it is. A heavenly reminder that your life still carries divine assignment. That even though you've fallen, I have not cancelled your calling. But understand this clearly. Grace is not infinite for those who keep rejecting it. The door of mercy remains open only for a time. And when it closes, no amount of prayer or regret will open it again. So this is your turning point. Lay down the guilt. Put down the shame. Stop trying to fix what only I can heal. The world told you that you're too far gone. But I say you're one prayer away. One honest moment away from a complete restoration. In this very minute, heaven is watching. Waiting for your yes. Don't let this message pass you by. Because if you ignore it, it will go to the next person. Someone who will take it seriously. Someone who will receive the blessing meant for you. But if you stop, breathe and say right now, Lord, I hear you, I surrender. Everything shifts, your angels will move, chains will break, peace will flood your spirit. Because the miracle you've been begging for has been waiting on your obedience. This is not just another video. This is heaven calling you by name. So listen closely and don't look away. Your eternity is whispering. And it's saying, come back home 12 hours ago. Your name was spoken in heaven, not whispered, not gently mentioned. It was declared loudly across the halls of eternity, and every angel stopped. Because when your name is called in the courtroom of heaven, it means a verdict is about to be made. The accuser stood there, calm, confident, holding a file that's been building for 7 years. Every page, every word written in ink, made of your regrets. He presented every time you chose comfort over calling. Every tomorrow you said instead of today. Every prayer you ended early because your phone buzzed, because Netflix was playing, because you told yourself, God understands. I'm just tired. Heaven listened. And for a moment, it seemed like the evidence was enough to end your story. But then your guardian angel stepped forward, breaking heavenly protocol, something angels rarely do, and in trembling hands he held another file, smaller, thinner, but glowing with light. Inside that file were your tears at 3 a.m. when you thought nobody saw. The nights you wanted to give up, but took one more breath instead. The prayers you whispered for others, while your own world was falling apart. The quiet moments you said, "Lord, I don't know how to go on, but I trust you." That was the evidence of mercy, the unseen record of a heart that hadn't fully given up. And as the angel laid it on the table, the atmosphere in heaven shifted. The room grew silent. The accuser smirked, because even he thought grace had run out. But then the judge and the one who knows every detail of your soul lifted his hand. The gavel hovered in mid-air, frozen between justice and compassion. All of heaven waited for the sound of that final strike. Every angel held their breath, and then the voice that spoke creation into existence said 4 words, "Give them one more chance." The gavel never fell. Your case was suspended by mercy. Heaven chose grace over judgment. You are not hearing this by accident. This message is proof that heaven's courtroom still has your file open, not for punishment, but for redemption. You see, the world remembers your failures, but heaven remembers your fight. The world counts your mistakes, but God counts your moments of surrender. That's why you're still here, still breathing, still being reached. Because mercy was extended one more time. Think about it. How many times could God have said enough? How many times did you walk away, and yet somehow grace still followed you home? This isn't coincidence. This is evidence of divine patience. But don't misunderstand. This extension of mercy is not meant to make you comfortable. It's meant to awaken you. Because heaven's file on your life isn't finished yet. There are pages unwritten, blessings unclaimed, prayers unanswered because your heart hasn't fully returned. So now the question isn't, will God forgive me? Because he already has. The question is, what will you do with your second chance? The courtroom is silent. Heaven waits for your response. Don't let your file close unfinished. Lift your eyes, take a breath, and say it with your heart, "Lord, I receive my one more chance," because when you do, the same gavel that once hovered in judgment will fall in victory. And your name will echo through heaven once again, not as the accused, but as the redeemed. My child, you have no idea how much is happening behind what your eyes can see. Right now, this very second, a war is being fought over your soul. You think you're just tired because of your job, your age, or the endless stress of life. But that's not the real reason. Your spirit is exhausted because it's been fighting in a battlefield you cannot see. Forces you've never met have been plotting to wear you down, to keep you distracted, to make you too tired to pray, too busy to listen, too comfortable to grow. 12 dark spirits were assigned to your name, not to destroy you with obvious evil, but to numb you with comfort. Because the enemy knows this. If you ever wake up and realize who you truly are, if you ever stand up and walk in the purpose heaven wrote for you, every stronghold on your family line would fall apart overnight. So they keep you scrolling, keep you comparing, keep you reaching for things that never fill you. They whisper, "Well, you're fine. You'll pray later. You've got time." And while you're busy surviving, they are busy stealing your destiny. But heaven has not been silent. Every time you pushed through one more day, heaven recorded it. Every tear that fell when no one was there to comfort you, documented. Every moment you said, "God, I can't," yet still took another step and recorded. Do you know how many times heaven has written your name in the book of endurance? 43,000 times. That's not symbolic. That's the actual number of moments when you could have quit but didn't. 43,000 times your spirit said yes to life when your flesh said no. That is why you are still here. You are not weak. You are targeted, because hell does not waste resources on people who don't matter. The fatigue you feel is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you are dangerous to darkness. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the heavier the resistance becomes. But hear me clearly, the enemy cannot take what you surrender to me. He can distract, delay, discourage, but he cannot destroy what is sealed by my hand. I am closer than you think. Every breath you take, and it is mine. Every beat of your heart, synchronized with my rhythm. Every thought that passes through your mind. I see it, I know it, I weigh it. Yet you keep living as if I'm an option, as if I'm a backup plan. You call on me when things break. But I was meant to be the center of your design, not the patch for your pain. My child, do you realize what happens when you fully surrender? When you stop running and finally say, Lord, take it all. Those 12 spirits lose their authority instantly. Their assignments collapse. Every curse tied to your bloodline is broken. Not by your effort, but by your alignment. You are not losing your mind. You are breaking through the fog of spiritual warfare. That's why it feels so heavy. Because light always exposes darkness before it sets you free. So listen carefully. This is your reminder that you are seen, recorded, and remembered 43,000 times over. Heaven has documented your faithfulness, and today heaven fights for you again. Do not mistake this message for coincidence. This is divine timing. Heaven is whispering, stay awake. Don't quit. Your victory is closer than your weariness. And when you finally rise, truly rise, every power that tried to bury you will have to watch you bloom under the light of the one who never stopped breathing life into you, my child. You have made me your last resort, when I was meant to be your first love. You come to me when the pain gets unbearable, when the plan falls apart, when the storm finally reaches your door. But where am I when you wake up and everything feels fine? Where am I when your phone is the first thing you reach for, before your heart even whispers my name? You've built your days around your schedule, your deadlines, your dreams, and then you fit me in wherever I can quietly exist, in the cracks between exhaustion and sleep. But I am not a filler for your fatigue. I am the foundation of your breath. You say you love me, but you treat me like a backup plan, a safety net for when logic fails, when fear wins, when your own decisions lead you into walls you could have avoided if you had only listened. You've forgotten how to ask, Lord, what do you want? Instead you ask, Lord, can you bless what I already decided? And I watch patiently, lovingly, as you choose ambition over alignment, comfort over calling, fear over faith. Do you remember Saul, the king I anointed, the one I lifted from obscurity? He started with humility and ended with pride. He fought battles I gave him, but then began to rewrite my commands to fit his logic. He obeyed partially and called it worship. He offered sacrifices I never asked for, and ignored obedience I required. And when my spirit departed from him, he didn't even notice at first. That is what pride does. It blinds you while you still think you're walking in light, and my child, you are dangerously close to writing the same story. Every time you say, later, God, every time you put me behind your plans, every time you seek signs instead of silence, you echo Saul's mistake. Partial obedience is still rebellion, and I cannot pour full blessings on half-hearted faith. I do not want your leftover minutes. I want your first moments, not the tired breath at the end of the day, but the first whisper when your eyes open, because that's when your spirit is pure. Before the noise of the world starts speaking louder than I do, you've lost what the scriptures call the fear of the Lord. Not fear that drives you away, but awe that draws you near. The kind that trembles at my presence. The kind that says, God, you are holy, and I will not treat you like an option. Yet even now, my love burns for you more fiercely than ever. You could not bear the full weight of it. It would crush you, overwhelm you, melt every wall you've built to protect yourself. So I give it to you in doses you can handle. A whisper here, a sunrise there, a conviction that interrupts your scrolling. Every moment of discomfort is my love calling you home. I am jealous for you, not out of insecurity, but because I made you mine before you took your first breath. Before you had a name, I already called you beloved. My child, return to me, not halfway, not on weekends, not when you have time. Return fully, because the door of mercy is still open, but not forever. Don't let your comfort become your chain. Don't let convenience cost you your calling. You were created for more than survival. You were made for communion, for a love that rewrites every chapter of your story. Come back, not out of guilt but out of hunger, because deep down you know nothing else satisfies. My child, heaven has heard you, and in the next 72 hours, I will confirm what you have whispered in secret, not by coincidence, not by chance, but through 3 undeniable signs that will unfold exactly as I have spoken. In the next 6 hours, someone you haven't heard from in a long time will reach out to you. Their message will carry a word, a phrase, or even a tone that touches the very thing you've been praying about. You'll know it's me, because what they say will pierce deeper than logic and echo what your spirit already knew. Then tomorrow, a door you thought was sealed shut will quietly open. It might be an opportunity, a conversation, a reconciliation. Something that once screamed impossible will suddenly whisper, available. And in that moment, you will realize that what I close no man can open, but what I open no one can shut, and on the 3rd day you will feel it in your body. A weight will lift, a breath will deepen, energy will surge through you, not from caffeine or motivation, but from divine restoration. That will be your sign that heaven has not only heard your voice, but responded. But my child, there is a condition. This promise is not unlocked by passivity, but by pursuit. For the next 72 hours, seek me as if your life depended on it, because it truly does. When you wake up, set your alarm for 5:55 a.m., not 6 squall, not 5:45. There's a reason for that number. Grace upon grace upon grace. Before your feet touch the floor, before your phone lights up, say these words aloud. God, I choose you above everything today. I surrender my plans for your purpose. I am listening. Then be still for 7 minutes. Do not pray. Do not read. Just listen. Because I cannot speak to a heart that won't stop speaking. In the silence, I will begin to reveal the direction you've been begging me to show you. Now, delete 3 apps from your phone. Yes, 3. The ones that steal your time, feed your comparison, and drown my whisper in constant noise. You think it's harmless, but heaven cannot download new instructions when your spirit's storage is filled with distractions from hell. This is not a command. It's spiritual hygiene. Finally, send 1 text message to the first person who comes to your mind. Don't overthink it. Don't analyze, just obey. Right, I've been praying for you, that's it. No explanation. Because the person I place on your heart is standing on the edge of something dark, and your obedience may be the very message that pulls them back from destruction. You have no idea how many prayers you are the answer to. So yes, the next 72 hours will be sacred, not because of the signs, but because of the surrender they represent. Each hour is an invitation to trade chaos for clarity, distraction for direction, fear for faith. And when the signs come, and they will, don't worship the miracle. Worship the one who sent it, because the miracle is not proof that you earned something. It's evidence that I never stopped pursuing you. This is not superstition. It's alignment. It's obedience meeting opportunity. It's heaven leaning close to a heart that finally said, "Here I am, Lord, speak, so prepare your heart, my child." Within 72 hours the evidence will appear. But even before that, the transformation begins now. My child, you must understand this. Every choice you make in the natural world echoes in the supernatural. There is no neutral moment in the kingdom. Every yes to me moves heaven's army on your behalf, and every delay, every maybe later, strengthens the enemy's hold on what is meant to be yours. When you choose my presence over your comfort, angels are released. Chains that held your family for generations begin to snap. Addictions weaken, fear loses its grip, and unseen barriers start to crumble. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but in the unseen realm, every act of obedience is warfare. When you whisper yes, heaven roars. But when you turn away, when you choose your plan over mine, when you treat my voice like an option instead of a command, you open a door you don't even realize you're opening. And that door gives the enemy permission to touch what belongs to you. That's why your finances come under attack. That's why relationships suddenly collapse without explanation. That's why peace seems to slip away no matter how much you pray. Because obedience is not a suggestion, it's protection. And yet, heaven is not angry with you tonight. Heaven is offering you a reset, not because you've earned it, not because you've done enough good deeds to deserve it, but because my love does not operate on human logic. I saw your weakness before you confessed it. I saw your failure before you fell into it. And still, I loved you. I loved you knowing how many times you would run, how many times you would doubt, how many times you would promise me tomorrow, and still I waited. That's the mystery of divine mercy. I don't love you because of what you've done. I love you in spite of it, but my love requires a response, and lately your response has been silence. You've grown numb to my presence. You scroll instead of seeking. You plan instead of praying. You've turned faith into a backup plan instead of your first language. And while I have covered you with grace again and again, there comes a moment when heaven pauses, not to punish you but to wait for you. Child, this is that moment. This is your chance to say yes again, to step back into alignment, to reignite what has been fading, to give me your heart before the world hardens it completely. You keep asking for breakthrough, but breakthrough cannot dwell where obedience is absent. You say you want peace, but peace cannot live in the same room as partial surrender. And you wonder why the cycle keeps repeating, why the same pain keeps finding you. It's because I'm calling you to respond, not react, to return, not resist, to surrender, not schedule. But listen closely. Tonight the gates of mercy have swung wide again. This very moment, heaven is giving you a clean slate. The angels are ready. The atmosphere is shifting. All creation is waiting for your response. Don't let this moment pass. Don't push it to another day. The same God who spoke light into existence is speaking to you now. I still want you. I still choose you. I still have plans for you. Everything that was delayed can still be restored. But it begins with obedience. It begins with your yes, so lift your eyes, take a deep breath, and say it out loud. God, I'm done delaying. I choose you, fully, finally, completely. And as those words leave your lips, heaven will begin to move again. The army will rise, peace will return, and the weight you've been carrying about will finally lift. Listen to me, beloved, and this isn't theory. This isn't poetry. This is truth written in the stories of real people who chose to respond when heaven called. Let me tell you about James from Detroit. He was sitting in his car scrolling through his phone, about to skip this very kind of message, until something in his spirit whispered, "Wait." He almost ignored it, almost kept driving. But that single moment of hesitation became the doorway heaven used to rewrite his story. 72 hours after he whispered, "Yes, Lord, I'm listening," the company that had rejected him months earlier called him back, not just to re-offer the job, but with double the salary he had prayed for. But that wasn't the real miracle. The real miracle was what happened inside him. He began waking up at 5:55 a.m., not because an alarm told him to, but because something divine stirred him awake. He said it felt like peace had a sound, and though he didn't hear God with his ears, he couldn't deny that something holy had begun to speak within him. Then there's Maria from Brazil. She heard a message like this 6 months ago. She felt conviction in her spirit, but she told herself, "I'll start next week." Next week became next month. Next month became 6 months of silence. And in that silence, everything started to fall apart. Her business failed. Her relationship crumbled. Her health declined. When she finally turned back to God, she realized that grace had not abandoned her, but she had missed a season that would never come again. She said to me, "I've learned something the hard way. Grace is eternal, but opportunities are not. Mercy forgives, but time doesn't rewind." And that truth should shake us all awake. When heaven speaks, delay is disobedience. And then there's David from London. He was on the edge of ending his life. He said he had written his goodbye letter, swallowed the lies that told him he was worthless, and then, by what he calls a divine accident, he stumbled upon a video, a message like this one. In the comments, he saw people typing 777. He didn't know why, but with tears streaming down his face, he typed it too. And at that exact moment, he said he felt a wave of heat rush through his chest, like life itself had entered him again. He deleted the letter. He called the helpline instead of taking the pills. And now, 3 months later, David isn't just alive. He's helping others choose life. He told me, "It wasn't the number that saved me. It was obedience. It was saying yes when everything in me said it's too late." 3 people, 3 stories, 3 very different lives, but one truth unites them all. Obedience releases miracles. Heaven doesn't move on emotion. It moves on action. The blessing doesn't rest on the one who feels inspired. It rests on the one who responds. James said yes and saw restoration. Maria delayed and lost a season. David obeyed in desperation and found resurrection. So now the question isn't, will God move? He's already moving. The question is, will you move with him? Don't say tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't promised. Grace is here now. Mercy is knocking now. Heaven is waiting for your reply now. So whisper it with faith, even if your voice shakes. Yes, Lord, I hear you. I choose you, and right now. Because the moment you do, everything that has been held back starts to shift in your favor. Miracles don't wait for perfect timing. They wait for obedience. Beloved, pause for a moment. Because right now heaven is watching you, not from a distance, but with divine attention. The Father, the Son, and the hosts of heaven are leaning forward, waiting breathless to see your next move. You may think this is just another message, another video, another emotional reminder you'll forget by tomorrow. But it isn't. This is the moment that heaven has been preparing for years. Let me ask you, how many times have you felt that nudge in your spirit? That whisper saying, "This is your time. Don't delay." But then life got busy, the noise returned, and that fire dimmed. You promised yourself you'd pray tomorrow, surrender tomorrow, obey tomorrow. But beloved, heaven doesn't move in tomorrows. It moves in now. There's a reason you're hearing this word at this exact moment. Someone in your bloodline prayed for you. Maybe your mother, your grandmother, or someone you've never even met. They cried out your name before the throne of God. And even if they've already gone to glory, their prayers didn't die. They are still echoing in the courts of heaven, waiting for this moment of agreement. You see, the breakthroughs you've been longing for, they aren't just about you. They're about the generations that come after you. They're about the people who will find hope, because you said yes. When you choose obedience, when you say, "Lord, I choose you first," you don't just shift your life. You shift an entire lineage. Heaven writes new history through those who obey in faith. So here's what the Spirit of God is saying. Don't delay. Act now. Don't let this be another good message, and let this be your turning point. Right now, type 777 in the comments, not because of a number, but as a symbol of covenant. It's your agreement with heaven that from this moment forward you choose him first. Not when it's convenient, not when you feel ready, but now. When you do, something shifts in the unseen. Heaven's records are sealed. Angels are released. Divine resources begin to move toward your name. And what was once postponed begins to unfold. The someday you've been waiting for becomes today. This is your countdown moment. Heaven is watching. Hell is trembling. Your destiny is calling. In the next 30 seconds, everything can change, and not because of emotion, but because of alignment. From barely surviving to finally thriving, from forgotten to chosen, from broken pieces to divine breakthrough. But it only begins if you choose now, and when you do, you'll discover something beautiful, that to be fully alive is to be fully surrendered. To be truly loved is to be known by him. And to be truly powerful is to walk in obedience to his call. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of everything you've been waiting for. The heavens have recorded your yes. The contract is signed. The angels are in motion. And the door of divine timing has just swung open. So watch what happens next, because it has already begun.